All right, here come the Sport Compacts presented by Design Welding. 2 heat races for the Sport Compacts tonight. Let's take a look at them. Michael Burris Jr. in the 18 on the pole. Reagan White next to him in the 10. Row 2, inside, 41S Shane Elman. 03 Julie Crabb outside row 2. Row 3 on the inside, 00, and your points leader, Cody Crabb. And row 3 outside, the 1 of Curtis Sutkovsky. I don't think I've ever said that name either. Sutkovsky. Gesundheit. God bless you. First of 2 heat races for the Sport Compacts presented by Design Welding. Picking up speed out there in turn number 4. Here we go. Green flag, green light. Michael Burris Jr. picking up speed from the pole. Going to jump out to the early lead going up into turn 1 and 2. Nobody staying with him, though. Reagan White backing off. Here comes Cody Crabb. Crabb started on the inside of row 3, but is going to have a lot of ground to make up as nobody went with your race leader, Michael Burris Jr. Burris may have this on cruise control the rest of the way, but don't count out Cody Crabb and that apple red number 00 down the back straightaway. Going into turn 3. He's going to try to close ground on Burris Jr. every single lap. See if he can catch him not paying attention and maybe sneak out a heat race win. Heat race number 1 of 2 for the Sport Compacts. Coming up next after the Sport Compacts will be the street stocks, the mods, the stock cars, and the sport mods. Some solid words of wisdom just delivered in the receiver heads of these drivers. Quote, this is a race. You need to actually pass each other. Come on, even the fans are telling them, let's go, let's go. Shane Alman in the black and yellow 41S. Started on the inside of row 2. Uh-oh, somebody's got some guts down the back straightaway. That's the 1 of Curtis Sutkovsky. He's picking up speed. He says, okay, let me see what this little Sport Compact has. Now really starting to pick off these drivers one at a time. Shane Alman better watch out. Ow, Shane Alman gets past coming out of turn 2. Sutkovsky doing that. Meanwhile, here comes your race leader now starting to lap traffic. Michael Burris Jr. Absolutely no competition right now in this race. Cody Crabb, nearest competitor, but he's just now coming out of turn 4. White flag coming up this time by as Burris sees it first. He is your first place car. Distant second is going to be the apple red 00 of Cody Crabb. Checker flag coming up this time by, and Michael Burris Jr. is going to bring home that checkered flag win. Battle all the way to the end. Cody Crabb grabs second place. All right, they're going to get this all figured out off the electronic scoring up here, because we did have lap cars back there kind of commingled with the front runners, so we just want to make sure we send the right 4 cars to the tech pad. Hey, thanks a lot to ZocNet for upping some of our speed here for the internet, sponsoring the racetrack, ACM Services. JTL Appraisals of Texas, LLC. I hear that whooping back there. Instaprints, Magnum Trailers, Keller Williams, Amelia Montalvo, USA Wrecker Service, Tex-Mix, Ladd's Gold Exchange, Design Welding, just some of the great sponsors we have here at Cotton Bowl Speedway. Race location at yahoo.com. If you haven't already sent your email, we'll start reading some of those coming up in just a few moments. Race location at yahoo.com. Whether you're watching from home or watching in the grandstands, where are you watching from, who are you watching with, and are you cheering somebody on? All right, heat race number 2, Sport Compacts, pole 33K, Caleb Pouncey, 17, Stephen Cooper. Row 2 inside, 03G, Gabby King. Next to her, 12.5, John DeWitt. And row 3, 42, Bo Bollinger. Sport Compacts will finish up this heat race. Street Stocks, presented by Advanced Auto Parts, are on deck. Taking a green flag at the pink tire. We're all about color here at Cotton Bowl Speedway. Off and running they go. Green flag, green light. There we go. Gabby King in the gray 03G looking to make an early move right down the front straightaway. There's the 17 of Stephen Cooper leading the pack along with the 12.5 of John DeWitt. Gabby King moves up into third. These drivers are racing 8s. They're not following the pack here. They're actually putting the accelerator pedal down to the ground on this one. Whoa, a little contact there. Gabby King getting into the back of the DeWitt car right in front of her. Shook him up just enough that Gabby King goes cruising by. Moves up into second. Still early in the race. Gabby King moves up into second. 12.5, John DeWitt may move back up and reciprocate. DeWitt going to move up on the inside. Oh, look at the power in the DeWitt car. John DeWitt cutting up in front of Gabby King, waves at her as he goes by up into second. Gabby King going down the back straightaway. She's in third. DeWitt going to the inside, rushing for the lead. King going to go along the outside wall. King trying to figure out how to carefully and cleanly get by John DeWitt in the 12. That's what we're looking for. The 12 and the 03 have already been talked to during the race in their headset. Clean racing, stop hitting each other. Gabby King trying to figure out how can I get by him cleanly and carefully. She's going to go to the inside this time up in turn 1 and 2. Goes to the inside move. Oh, she could have slammed into him, but she backed off of it. Nice clean move by Gabby King up in turn 1 and 2. Right now, your race leader, we haven't talked about him much because we got a race for second and third. Stephen Cooper jumped out to the lead quickly. Now Gabby King is going to challenge him. Gabby goes right in front of the nose, goes high up on turn 2. She's lost all acceleration, and she is now out of the mix. Could have a flat right front there on the Gabby King car. That's what pushed her up to the high side. Take a look at her. Yep, right front tire. We call it every time. Flat as an IHOP pancake. We're going to get her out of the way. That's a tough break, man. Gabby King had a strong Sport Compact. She'll get that tire figured out, fixed, and get back into the main event. Here's a checkered flag, though. Cooper with the win.